All right. Well, next week, Stevie Rochelle is going to come on, and he will spread more light on this more than what we know, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And look for a post on Metal Sludge maybe this week that includes something from us.
Yeah, I would think so.
It's been a while since the CMS was part of a Metal Sludge thing.
Yeah, it has been a while.
All right, you got your choice.
All right.
Got two things we could do here real quick.
Okay.
We got 1 hour.
Okay.
We've got Geoff Tate interviewed by a 13-year-old.
Oh, all right.
Or we got our fat tongue guy interviewing who?
Rob Halford.
Rob Halford.
Wow.
Well, we'll listen. We'll do both, but which one do you want to hear first?
I'm thinking I want to hear 13-year-old.
Okay.
Have you heard it or no?
I did not listen to it, no.
I'm unaware of it, so this could either be really good or really tragic. All right, I'm in for this. Is this that same show, that fucking kids interview?
Queensryche singer Geoff Tate was recently interviewed by a 13-year-old radio host. Myles, quote unquote, the Shoe, SHOE, Shuman.
Oh boy.
They refer to him as the Shoe.
Right, the Shoe kicking it in here with some Geoff Tate. What is wrong with all these bands? Why don't they say no?
On November 7th at St. Rock in Hermosa Beach, California, the Geoff Tate fronted version of Queensryche, blah, 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 whatever.
Why does a guy like Geoff Tate not say, no, I'm not going to be interviewed by a fucking teenager?
Because he's 13 years old. He's Myles the Shoe.
Myles the Shoe. Even if the guy was 35, wouldn't you turn down Myles the Shoe? If you're Geoff Tate? Jeff got an interview request for you. It's with Myles the Shoe.
Hey, he was on KNAC.
I'll pass. Myles the Shoe is on KNAC?
No, what I'm saying is that when prior to the release of FU,
oh yeah,
they were on KNAC.
Oh, okay.
Or not KNAC, but KLOS.
KLOS. Yeah. Now they're on Myles the Shoe.
Myles the Shoe.
13-year-old. Things are going well in the fucking Geoff Tate's Queensryche camp.
Absolutely.
Good Lord.
Right. All right, here we go.
All right, let's hear it.
There's Myles the Shoe with Geoff Tate.
Cool.
With special host Myles Shuman. Hi, everybody. You're listening to The Shoe.
So you're listening to The Shoe.
Listen to The Shoe.
Where the hell is this being broadcast?
I don't know. Blog Talk? Sounds like it.
It does. It really does sound like Blog Talk, and I'll bet you it is.
That's probably.
Starring Myles Shuman. Now, rock on.
Is that in order?
Did you pause it or did it
No, I just paused it. I said, is that in order? Now, rock on.
All right. Yes, sir.
That's an order.
You got it, Shoe.
Right.
Live with The Shoe, I'm Myles the Shoe Shuman, 13-year-old rock and roll radio host. We broadcast...
He's got the lisp that goes with it. In about 30 years or 20 years, he'll be just like our next guy. Rock and roll host, 13-year-old Myles the Shoe.
Hey, it's Myles the Shoe here, 13 and proud of it, motherfucker.
And I don't mean to be mean, but if you've got a speech impediment, don't go into audio.
Yeah, time to not be a radio host.
Yeah, speech impediment doesn't work.
You got a speech impediment? Learn to write.
Every Sunday at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific Time here on BlogTalkRadio.
Oh, you were dead on, Chris. Dead on, Blog Talk.
Blog Talk Radio.
So Geoff has
Jeff's down on Blog Talk Radio with Myles the Lisp.
Myles the Lisp.
Yeah, Myles the Lisp.
The 13-year-old lispy kid.
Yeah, that's right.
Myles the Shoe.
I've either got a fucked up tongue or I'm gay.
Nice.
patreon.com/theshoe. Before I get started, I'd like to send you guys over to our good friends over at FableLabel.com. They have the coolest clothes and accessories in rock and roll. I love them. I'm wearing my Fable Label belt right this second.
Fable Label?
Fable Label belt.
I'm wearing my Fable Label belt as we speak.
That's right. Fable Label, my favorite.
Fable Label.
It's on Fable Label, my favorite. I got my belt on right now.
If it says Fable, Fable, Fable on the label, you will like it.
I'm telling you, I'm not thinking he's got a lisp. I'm thinking he's smoking the pole.
Right.
I'm thinking he's dreaming of 18-year-old cock.
Fable Label.
Fable Label.
Now, today, we have another legendary rock star coming on The Shoe with Myles the Shoe Shuman.
Coming on The Shoe with Myles the Shoe Shuman.
Hey, welcome to The Shoe, ladies and germs.
All right, enough with the shoe, all right?
Get it. Your name is Shuman. We got it.
Myles the Shoe Shuman on the shoe.
On the shoe with Shuman. Myles Shuman.
Geoff Tate of Queensryche for the first time is going to be on the show. And this is an interesting one. I met Geoff in June, this past June. I went to his show, and his new lead guitarist is Robert Sarzo. And I'm sure a lot of you guys know the story by now, but over a year ago now, there was a split in the band, so there are currently two versions of Queensryche. Last week, I had Eddie Jackson of the other version of Queensryche on.
Traitor! Traitor!
This guy's getting some pretty big guests.
For Blog Talk.
For a 13-year-old on Blog Talk Radio. What the fuck? Had to have a word with our friend Kevin that hooked us up with fucking Todd Latour. Be like, dude, what are you booking?
Really?
Jesus.
This week is Geoff Tate. That wasn't actually really planned. It just kind of worked out that way. Those were the last two shows. I actually sent the emails for the requests out at the same time. But it just happened that I booked them both and had them and recorded both the shows at the same time. So it just happened to be that 2 weeks of Queensryche, pretty much. So what could be better? 2 weeks of Queensryche. But today, Mr. Geoff Tate of Queensryche is coming on, and it actually looks like he's calling in now. So how's it going, Geoff?
Hey, Myles, how are you?
No editing there.
Great segue.
That was good.
In fact, he's calling right now.
Hey, buddy.
Here he is.
I love that.
No, I want to welcome you to the Shuman Show.
And you know, when these guys call in, they automatically know who they're speaking to.
Right.
They don't say, hey, is this so-and-so? That's never happened before.
In fact, he's calling in right now.
Hey, buddy.
Here
How
he
you
is.
doing? Shit.
I'm really good. So I don't know if you remember me, but I met you.
I was the guy in the front row. I threw the peace sign at you. You threw it right back.
I was thinking the same.
You remember me?
Remember me? Yeah, I do.
I was right in the front row.
Jeff's going to say he remembers him.
I was the tall, blonde guy.
Are we betting on this?
He's going to say, I remember you.
He's gonna acknowledge like he remembers.
Yeah, of course he does. No,
Of course
he goes,
he will.
I remember now.
Yeah.
On your run on
Providence, wasn't it?
in Providence. That's right. Yeah, Robert Sarzo is your guitarist now, and he's my good friend. And in fact, I texted him like 5 minutes before the show went live, and I said about to do an interview with Geoff, and he said, "Tell Geoff Roberto Sarzo says hi."
When he doesn't see him on stage.
Wow, that's fantastic.
I'll tell him hi when I see him on stage.
Yeah, exactly. If I still let him be in the band. What's he doing texting a kid?
Why are you talking to him?
Yeah, he's my employee.
Right. I'm going to have a word with Susan about this.
That's right.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I started calling him Roberto.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
Oh, my goodness.
That's great. God damn, that's great.
God.
I started calling him Roberto, and we all get a laugh every time.
It's just a big chuckle fest
That
here.
one, that never gets old. Roberto.
Roberto. Because he's Spanish.
It's not because he's Cuban or anything.
Back and I think it's sticking.
I think I remember him telling me a while ago that that's actually his real name.
Yeah, Roberto, Cuban.
How does this guy know Robert Sarzo?
Apparently he knows him somehow.
Apparently.
This is a good friend.
Good friend. He's texting back.
Right. 13 years old.
That's good.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, wonderful.
Anyways, so
lots of
of
laughs.
course you've had a lot happen over the past year, and
Yeah, those other guys are trying to fuck me. Wouldn't that be funny if Geoff just like lost his mind with this 13-year-old?
That'd be great.
It'd be so great. Every interview he's done, he's just been like all calm and laid back, and he gets on with this 13-year-old and he just like loses it.
Great. These motherfuckers. Fucking cocksuckers stole my fucking business. Motherfuckers, I hope they all get fucking AIDS and die.
Right. So you just imagine.
Be the best.
I know that you're on a really good path now, and you're looking at like a bright future ahead with everything, and you've had a great time, and so.
What?
Just put the words in his mouth for him. Well, you're on a good path now, and you got a great future, and everything's bright, and
Have a good time.
have a good time.
Your name is Tate. Have a good time.
Your guitarist's name is Roberto. Have a good time.
You have an amazing band. I got to meet everybody in the band, except for Simon Wright, because when I saw the show, he was out. But, of course, you have Rudy Sarzo, who's legendary, and you have Robert.
Okay. He's
All right, thank you.
He is legendary.
Yeah.
And his brother Robert, not so legendary.
Yeah, we've heard his name before. He was in, what, Hurricane or
He was
something?
in Hurricane, yeah. Along with the other Cavazzo brother.
Right.
They were rivaling Quiet Riot.
What was it? Scab Brothers Band?
Yeah.
Hurricane?
And you have, talk a little bit about the band, because, of course, as I was talking about before you came on, there was a split in the band, and now there's two versions of Queensryche, and now you have this amazing band. So tell us a little bit about your band.
All right.
It's amazing.
How many times could he say the word band?
Yeah.
One sentence.
And how amazing is it? It's amazing.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah. Especially since you had Robert Blotzer in the band at one point.
Yeah. And you downgraded to Simon Wright.
Right.
Oof. Can you imagine how bad that would have been?
It's a great.
Can you imagine how bad that would have been if Bobby would have recorded fucking Frequency Unknown?
Can you imagine?
God, that would have been awful.
Hail and Kill Caller, you're on the air.
Now, see right there, he watches too much sports. He did the talk about question.
Talk about, yeah.
Yep. Good point.
Talk about this.
See, sports journalists started doing this because they finally figured out the athletes are so damn dumb they can't answer an actual direct question. So you just sort of steer them what to talk about.
Well, yeah, you have to steer the conversation.
Right.
Yeah. Do you really think this kid is 13?
I do.
He sounds young, but thinking back to 8th grade, there were maybe only 3 or 4 kids that had voices that deep at that age. And no, I was not one of them.
Still not.
Oh, fuck you, Chris. I sound like Barry White compared to you, Chris. And I wasn't even doing the Miranda voice there.
Right. You didn't call into Rush Limbaugh, did you, by any chance?
No, why?
Somebody told us that they heard Miranda on Rush Limbaugh. I haven't been able to track down the audio yet.
Good Lord, I gotta hear this.
Me too. Supposedly that somebody was just like Miranda called in Rush Limbaugh on Wednesday.
Hi, I want to talk about,
Obama and the liberals and stuff. My dad is like a really big supporter, but I think it's kind of whack.
Well, we're gonna
Something like that.
Yeah, well, we're gonna track down the audio just to hear what it sounds like.
We will be tracking it down.
And speaking of Limbaugh, does he not sound like Kermit the Frog or what?
Hi-ho, Kermit the Frog here.
I'm Kermit the Frog speaking into the golden penis-shaped microphone. No, we're getting far afield of the point here.
Right.
Continue with Myles the Monster or whatever he is.
He's the shoe, man.
The shoe.
Oh, Myles the shoe. Okay.
Myles the shoe.
Yeah, the little boy who lived in a shoe.
Right.
Fuck it. Fuck you, pal.
All right.
Band comprised of guys that I've known for years, and some of them I've been playing music with, on and off again for 30, 40 years, something.
Since when?
What?
When did he play with Robert and Rudy Sarzo or Simon Wright?
Did he say that, or did he say he's been playing?
No, he says these are guys that I've been playing on and off with over the last 30 years. That's what he said.
30 years, 3 months. It's all the same.
Since when?
It's all the same.
When did he take a break from Queensryche and out there playing with Simon Wright or those Sarzo brothers?
Hey, come on over, guys. Have a bottle of Insania and have a little jam.
That never happened.
I don't think it did either.
Like that. So, it's worked out really well. Everyone in the band right now has a real, positive mental attitude, which I think is, essential, when you're traveling together and around each other all the time. And also, when you're in the studio, when you're in a creative atmosphere, it really helps, to have people there that are creative and wanting to be there and, throwing out ideas. And this makes for a, much more creative project, really. So, I'm feeling really good, actually, about everything, and really looking forward to, what's next.
Well, that's great, Geoff.
I'm always fascinated by this whole, like everybody gathered at the studio and they all just like wrote this record together and all performed together, and
like these crappy songs these great songs weren't already pre-written,
or the fact that they, again, I don't know for fact, but I'm not feeling the fact that they were all there together performing this as a recording.
I'm not thinking that either, considering there's 400 other guest guys on it.
That's my point.
Yeah, these guys had nothing to do with that record.
You guys didn't just like all gather in a studio like a band.
In fact, we did so well on the record that we don't play any of the songs live.
Right.
Nice.
So, of course, since there was the split, it comes along with the fans, and then there's the positive fans and the negative fans, and some of the negative fans call your band a revolving lineup. But in all...
Well, it is. Some fans call it a revolving lineup.
Yeah, those would be the honest fans.
That would be the facts of the matter.
That would be the ones that are honest.
Right. Some of them would call it.
Yeah, some would. Some wouldn't.
Let's see. It's really not at all. You've had one lineup change, and that was before the band even did.
This Shuman the shoe didn't do his homework.
Shoe doesn't know what he's talking about.
Only one lineup change?
Only one? Well, you've definitely had Bobby Blotzer. You've definitely had Brian Tichy. You've definitely had Simon Wright. You've definitely had... the
guitarist from Megadeth.
Drover.
Yeah, Drover.
Sean Drover or Glenn Drover.
Glenn Drover.
Yeah. Wasn't there another guy before Robert Sarzo came in? Or is that Sarzo come in behind Drover?
I think he was behind Drover.
Yeah, there's been several lineup changes. Okay, only one change.
These shows. How do you feel about some of, that revolving lineup kind of stuff that people have thrown out there.
How do you feel about it?
How's it feel?
That's one question I would never ask in a million years. How do you feel about that?
How's that feel? Well, it feels great.
It's almost, what's it like?
What's it like?
What's it like, and how does it feel?
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I don't really pay attention.
Yeah, sure.
Well, that's probably good.
I don't know any other way to get around and do stuff. I think if you concern yourself with, what a host of different people think, you'll never do anything. I think you have to just follow what feels good to you and what feels right, and carry on.
Of course.
Is this Geoff or is this the real Geoff? I can't really tell. Can you? That sounded like a real Geoff Tate answer, didn't it?
Yeah.
It really did.
Very, very similar.
Very close.
There are two separate bands right now, and so these were guys that you were with for 30.
There are? I haven't been paying attention. There's another Queensryche out
You're
there.
kidding, Shu. Really?
What?
Thanks for pointing that out, Shu.
I haven't paid attention. I thought I was the only one on the circuit.
I can't be paying attention to other things, Shu.
Right.
It's unimportant to me.
But thanks for bringing that to my attention. I'll check that into that.
Yeah, thanks. I'll have Susan look it up.
Hail and Kill caller, you're on the air.
As a matter of fact, it was in fact G's and S's, gentlemen. It was in fact I, Geoff Tate, and what I actually said, it got edited out of the conversation. I said to the young gentleman, Myles, you got to do what pleases you. You got to do what feels good to you. And as a 13-year-old boy with the hormones raging, I'm sure you understand. If it feels good, if you're just pulling your pecker a little bit, it feels good. There's no shame in it. Go ahead and do it.
Did you actually say that in the interview, Geoff, and that's the part that got edited out?
Absolutely. I counseled the young lad. I offered him much guidance and spiritual and emotional guidance as he makes this perilous journey to the treacherous waters between childhood and manhood.
Well, Geoff, were you aware that you were going to be interviewing with a 13-year-old on Blog Talk Radio prior to this interview?
It was dropped into my lap at the last moment by someone who shall remain nameless, someone who is trying her hand, as it were.
They were trying their hand in your lap? Is that what you were saying?
Well, completely aside from that, it was someone who was, dipping her toes in the waters.
Her name wasn't Jeff Albright, was it?
No, as a matter of fact, it was my lovely, charming, she is very charming in many ways, stepdaughter Miranda. She was trying her hand at all facets of the management business, the business side of things, and it was my better half, Susan's, idea to let her, try to book an interview, and this is what she came up with.
So you had Myles the Shuman on Blog Talk Radio.
I believe the young gentleman was someone Miranda, rode the bus with or something like that.
The short bus.
Well, be that as it may.
Oh my God. So, Geoff, I mean, after all the interviews that you've done in your career, where does Myles the Shuman rate in the, from top to bottom?
I would put him perhaps a notch or two above Natalie's World.
Have you been interviewed at Natalie's World, Geoff?
It will be coming out shortly, I'm sure.
Did she ride with your daughter to school too?
As a matter of fact, I'm quite the popular figure amongst all of Miranda's school chums.
School chums. Would that be the female and male chums?
Did you not have chums when you were in school, Christopher? I can't imagine why not.
What are you, from the 1960s Batman series?
Chums.
I am a Renaissance man. I am a man of many eras. I am a man out of time, as that boorish band once sang. About some
Tesla?
About some bohunk tinkerer.
Right. The man out of time. Edison's medicine.
Absolutely. I am the real Renaissance man. I like to consider myself the rock and roll Galileo.
That would be quite a moniker. Geoff Tate.
It would be a great name for a Queensryche album.
Right.
Hint, hint. Shh, don't say anything.
Geoff Tate, rock and roll's Galileo.
There it is.
Absolutely.
I'm
Can't you
liking
see
that.
that
I can see a cover with stars and just the Tri-Rite logo over the stars. Sounds good.
Not unlike what Miranda's pussy looked like when she got vajazzled.
You saw that?
Absolutely. I saw it and I approved of it.
Oh, wow.
He was the vajazzler.
I paid for it. Why don't I get to look at it?
Right. I'm fascinated by sparkly things, too.
And by the way, I understand that one of your voices from the Peanut Gallery was running a bit of smack on yours truly last week, Mr. Jim Bartek, I believe.
Now, Geoff, as I'm sure you might have heard, I totally took your side when he was talking bad about you.
Yes, I was aware of that, but I would like just take this opportunity now that I have the floor to advise Jim, once he takes the banana out of his asshole, to go back to listening to Nostradamus again for another 1,400 times.
Why would you listen to Nostradamus when you've clearly got the Renaissance album of all time, Operation Mindcrime?
Frequency Unknown.
Well, that too. Frequency Unknown or
Ooh, what do you mean too?
Chaos?
Frequency Unknown is the pinnacle of my career.
Oh, I don't know, Geoff. I don't know that I'd call it the pinnacle of your career, only because you've had to work with these hacks instead of, a solidified band.
Well, Mindcrime is it's a snapshot in time, as it were. It's certainly the scope and breadth of it. I've been wanting to use the word breadth all day. The scope and breadth of Mindcrime are certainly to be admired, but that was 25 years ago. I live in the now. I am in a good place. I've ripped the rearview mirror off. I'm not looking back.
Here in the now frontier?
I'm in the now frontier. I'm into the now. I'm still alive and well. I'm getting pretty good at barely getting by. And did I say that?
He's nothing but a hotspot junkie.
Absolutely. I'm a junkie for that hot, wet spot. I like to get down on that hot spot and just go.
So, Geoff, did you find a lot of that hot spot when you were in Sao Paulo last weekend?
Let me tell you, Christopher, if you've never been outside of the country, as a lot of boorish Americans have not traveled abroad. Mm-hmm. I've traveled lots abroad, but let me just tell you that there is nothing like South American pussy.
All right, why is that?
Well, the Brazilian wax is named the Brazilian wax for a reason, obviously. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you know this, but in South America, particularly in countries such as Colombia and Venezuela, I'm pronouncing the Spanish pronunciation, as Roberto told me. In Venezuela
isn't there supposed
Colombia,
to be a laugh to follow after Roberto? Isn't there supposed to be a chuckle after that?
Roberto, you're happy now. May I get to my point, please?
Please
yeah,
do.
Neeley, stop interrupting Mr. Tate.
Right, sorry. I apologize.
You're no better than another boorish friend sometimes.
Right.
Jeez.
Now, the South America, they place great emphasis and importance on the beauty pageants. And they actually have these, I suppose in a more developed nation, we would call them finishing schools, but I will call them pageant camps. They're almost like concentration camps for pageant contestants,
Oh,
where they are starved, they are exercised, they are groomed, they are ruthlessly tutored on how to appear in these beauty pageants. And they, my God, they do some good work. They turn out some of the hottest bitches you could ever put your pecker on.
Wow.
It's
So
just
is
amazing.
that so is that
And-
why you
and-
sounded slightly out of tune on a couple of the tunes, Jeff? Because you were worn out from tearing up all that South American pussy?
Absolutely. At my advanced age, of course, I'm more interested in sex than ever before. I'm obsessed with sex, as a matter of fact.
Right.
But the stamina, I've got the magic when I need it, but sometimes it takes a toll on other areas of my life. But the little head comes first.
Right. As it should
And,
be.
go ahead.
I just was saying, as it should be.
As it should be, absolutely. You only got one cock. You only live once. The people who want to see you at, Rock in Rio or whatever it is, they can come see you next time.
So, Jeff, let me ask you, because there were a couple of spots. I mean, I'm sure you heard us playing earlier, Neeley just destroying your performance. I tended to think that those few moments where you slightly drifted out of tune a little bit, those were solely because the band was playing wrong, and you were just trying to adjust to cover up for their mistakes.
It's an ever changing thing. It's a fluid thing, just like marriage, only different fluids. When you're on stage, and one of these, Roberto gets a little carried away here, or something of that nature, or Randy pushes the wrong pedal on the keyboard doohickey. You try to compensate on the fly. It's total seat of the pants performance art. Mm-hmm. And sometimes some of these occasions you speak of are in fact my own doing, but they're totally emotional responses to my own connection to the music, as it were. The music and how it makes me feel and how it makes the crowd feel, and my reaction to the crowd, and me getting off on them and them getting off on me, and it's a great big musical orgasm.
So what you're saying then is that you purposely take it out of tune for the fans.
No, it's just one of those things that happens. Let me ask you, Christopher, do you come in perfect pitch? No, neither do I.
So what's the story with Kelly Gray and looking like a Amish guitarist out there?
Kelly, he's a strange bird. He's a unique character. I suppose I can't speak for Kelly, but that hat is quite dashing, don't you think?
the hat and the beard and the long coat.
Yes, he's working on a beard as well.
He's working on
a nice long Amish beard, and we were thinking about, we could always use the extra bunk on the tour bus to, stash a hot bitch. Maybe he can take a horse and buggy to the gigs. And, I'm all about the horses. Ooh, yeah.
It's like packing a groupie with you, right?
Absolutely. A horse and an extra groupie in the extra bunk.
Perfect.
There's got to be some hot times in the old town tonight. Ooh. By the way, did I mention Kelly's last name is not actually Gray? As he's following my example. I've spoken many times on your program about my African American heritage.
Sure.
Kelly's, I suppose, I don't want to be telling tales out of school, but Kelly's real last name is Stoltzfus.
It's what?
Stoltzfus.
Stoltzfus?
Yes. You're from Ohio. Don't you know about the Amish people?
I don't pay attention to the Amish people.
Well, you should. You might run over one, the way you drive.
That's a good point.
No, Stoltzfus, Stolzfus. It's a very common Amish last name.
I was unaware of that.
You'll probably find a lot of them up in Middlefield, Chris.
Okay, I'll have to look next time I'm there. I'll tell him I was referred by the great Geoff Tate.
Look it up in the phone book.
Okay. There wouldn't be in the phone book.
Do they have phones?
Well, whatever. The point is that Kelly is getting in touch with his heritage, and I applaud him for it. And I look with great disfavor on anyone who takes exception to that.
So he's trying to go back to his roots.
Absolutely. Clippity-clop.
Well, soon he'll trade in his electric guitar for maybe a mandolin or a banjo.
Well, we'll have to talk about that, but there's always room. There is no one typical Queensryche sound. If he wants to do that, I can, always have the producer play a guitar.
Right.
You go.
Yeah, that's never happened before.
We did not speak of this. Well, then, if you insist on continuing with this, me humoring the young lad, you may continue doing so. But it was certainly good talking with you again. I've been quite busy these recent weeks, and I think my lovely wife Susan may have put a block on the telephone at our house. I've had to come along. I've had to phone you once again from Young Doghouse's abode.
Oh, jeez.
I can't seem to reach you from my own devices. Tell me, please, have you been talking with Susan lately?
I have not spoken with Susan for at least 2 weeks.
At least 2 weeks? What did she say 2 weeks ago?
To my recollection, she was, actually, it's been longer. I think the last time I spoke with Susan is when the lovely Veronica was here.
Oh, I remember that.
So that's been at least a month.
That was quite a party. I just, was thinking about, my wife Susan getting all that milty goodness, and while motorboating those metal memories.
Right.
That's an oldie but a goodie.
Exactly.
More ways than one. Hey, Neeley?
Yes?
Well, all right then, I'll be popping. And good to speak with you again, fellows.
All right. Anytime, Geoff.
Fuck you, pal.
Jesus Christ.
I know. There goes Geoff.
Oh, boy.
All right, let's get back to Myles the Shuman.
All right.
Years, and one of the members in the other band was actually your son-in-law at one point, married to your daughter Miranda, who I met on your tour. She's really, really nice. She was running the merchandise, and she was absolutely really, really nice. And so was there any question at all about, because you gave that guitarist, pretty much you gave him his big break into the band, you brought him into the band Queensryche, and you gave him his big break as a guitarist. Was there any, did you wonder at all if he would come with you and continue on to your projects during the split, or did you guys not have that same kind of, Robert Sarzo always puts your guys' relationship as a brotherhood in the band, and was it not that kind of brotherhood anymore?
Well, I got to give it to that kid. I know what he was going after, but I think he was just afraid to say.
He was afraid to say it, but I got to give him, that's a balls question.
That is a balls question.
I like that one.
Yeah. Your ex-son-in-law is in the other Queensryche, so what's your thoughts, Geoff?
Hell, we didn't go there. Good for him.
Yeah, balls question.
Like it.
I know he stammered around because I could tell he was trying to phrase the question where he wasn't just going to be blatant and say,
right,
you got a relationship with your ex-son-in-law.
Exactly.
Or do you think he's a dick for staying with the other Queensryche? That's what he's trying to say.
I like that. I like that question a lot.
All right. What do you think the answer is?
Just a simple no.
Really? You don't think he'll elaborate at all?
Nope, I don't.
No elaboration.
That's my guess.
All right.
Well, honestly,
I love the laugh because that's just like, thanks for making me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Now I got to think of an answer.
I got to lie.
I got to figure out some kind of an answer that's politically correct.
It's like I'm going to be wrong on this one.
I got to hear this chuckle again.
Right.
It's like,
The guys that you were with for 30 years, and one of the members in the other band was actually your son-in-law at one point, married to your daughter Miranda, who I met on your tour. She's really, really nice. She was running the merchandise, and she was absolutely really, really nice. And so was there any question at all about, because you gave that guitarist pretty much, you gave him his big break into the band, you brought him into the band Queensryche, and you gave him his big break as a guitarist. Was there any, did you wonder at all if he would come with you and continue on to your projects during the split, or did you guys not have that same kind of, Robert Sarzo always puts your guys' relationship.
I like how he keeps shifting gears. He can't finish one sentence or one thought. He's just trying to tiptoe around it.
Yep. I like it.
As a brotherhood in the band, and was it not that kind of brotherhood anymore?
Well, honestly, Myles, talking about this stuff is kind of detrimental to, my positive mental attitude,
Sure.
And I just really want to get past it all and,
I win.
move on.
Yep.
I win.
Don't want to talk about it. Next question.
Next question. I get that one.
Nice. I gotta give Shu the Shuman.
I do like that he asked it, though. That's fucking good.
Yeah. He was so indirect, though. She was really, really nice. I mean, she was just super nice, and, you gave him his big break, and, Robert says you guys have like a brotherhood, and...
Yeah. He said, nope, not going to talk about it.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
I don't give a shit how much you just rub my balls. I'm not talking about it.
I like that laugh, though, before.
With, a creative life and not get mired in the past and all the different situations that, have come about because of that or before that. It's kind of water under the bridge to me,
Yeah. That's understandable, and you've had a lot of positive stuff go on, and so I'm totally fine with just sticking to the positive stuff.
I'm totally fine with it, Geoff. Whatever you want.
All right. How about if I just do the rest of this in kiss-ass mode?
Don't hang up on me, okay?
Please don't hang up on me, Jeff.
I'm just a kid, all right?
You're the biggest star I've ever spoken to.
I love it. Nice. It's good for you.
I like this kid.
Of course, you had a fantastic album come out in April called Frequency Unknown.
All right, now let's not get clear.
Well, you did say let's finish out this interview in kiss-ass mode.
That is true.
Fantastic album.
Fantastic album.
Right.
What was it like making your first,
no.
Your first album with this new lineup?
What was it like?
No, you were doing so good.
Stop with the what's it like.
You asked the fucking balls question and follow it up with a what's it like?
Oh.
All right, what's his answer? It's fucking great.
It was good. It was a learning experience. Seeing how everybody is in the studio and seeing how we work together. And I look forward to doing more records. Really. In fact, I'm working on a new one right now. I just took a break to call you from working on your record right now.
Really? That's awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. Anyways,
nice. Really?
Thank you so much for joining us.
You took a break just for me.
Who's us?
Wow.
Last I heard it was you.
Me and Blog Talk Radio.
Thanks for joining the shoe.
All my big listeners out there. Wow. So great.
I love it.
It's taken me a few minutes to get my head out of the studio, actually.
So, you're writing from home then, because I know that you guys aren't touring right now. You're going to start back up on the 20th, I think, and go to Brazil. So I'm sure it's really nice. You were on the road for many, many months. I know because I don't think I mentioned this in this show. I've mentioned it in the past. Robert Sarzo is my mentor. He's my teacher, and he's a close friend of mine. So I stayed in touch with him throughout the entire tour. And so I know that you guys were out there for a really long time. It must be really nice to just be home and be able to write and do your own thing.
Yeah, well, I enjoy touring quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy the travel. I like, I love playing shows and performing, and I also like being at home. It's
yeah.
I like on the road, like being at home.
Yeah. You know what? I pretty much like everything.
I like everything. I like it all. Yeah. Could be at home, could be on the road. I'm comfortable.
Wherever I am, that's where I am.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with both.
Yeah, if I'm on the road, that's great. If not, that's great too.
Right. But thanks for asking, Shu.
Thanks a lot for the hard-hitting questions now, Shu.
That it's two different worlds, really. When you're home, for me, it's more like getting into the family vibe, and also the creative vibe of working on new songs and new music. And I pretty much spend my time doing that, when I'm home. And then when I'm, of course, on the road, it's a merry-go-round of appearances and shows, and it's a very social sort of thing,
So I know that it's not the 80s anymore, and everybody's different on tour than it was back then. I'm sure the stories back then compared to how they are now are totally different. But on this tour, you were, of course, getting to know everybody as a band. What was probably the most exciting or bizarre thing that happened on the last tour of the States that you did?
Oof. Oof. Really? He was doing so good.
Come on, Geoff, break it to us. Are you getting any hot snatch on the road?
What was that? And Jeff's going to come up with some stupid answer. You watch. He's like, well, we were on the bus one time and we hit a pothole and blew a tire, man. It shook us all up.
Right.
It's going to be something terrible. You watch.
Well, it may sound kind of strange, but probably our biggest challenge was making it to the shows. For
the blown out tire on the bus.
I swear I did not hear this before.
That's
so bad.
That's the biggest challenge, just making it to the show.
All right, Axel, we get it.
For each performance, I bought this tour bus last year, and it's been kind of a project, keep it running, and
he's really going with my answer.
He is. He's going with your answer.
Jesus.
He bought a tour bus.
Oh, aren't you a rich guy?
So now he's like fixing it.
So he bought a lemon.
Yeah, no, he just bought a broke down tour bus. It's got over 1 million miles on it.
It's a hunk of shit.
Yeah, it's all worn out.
13,000. Just a piece of shit.
Right.
3 million miles on it. It's got a lawnmower engine in it at this point.
So you were right that his biggest exciting story is keeping the bus running.
It's getting to the gig. Come on.
A little quirks about it, and it's. I'm glad I did it. I'm enjoying it, and it's it really adds to the whole touring comfort for everyone. But it's also like a whole other project, keeping it going and second guessing, the maintenance on it and all that, and keeping up with it. And we've had a couple near misses where, in fact, we missed our first show last year due to weather and bus breakdowns. But
oh wow,
managed to make all the rest of them. But some of them we've nearly missed a couple times.
Yeah, I saw.
So you were pretty dead on with that answer.
That was pretty close.
Not specifically about the tire, but about a bus issue.
Nothing exciting going on except fucking making it to the gigs.
Right, making sure that the bus doesn't break down.
They sound like one boring motherfucking band.
Yeah, I'll tell
that's
you.
the best you can come up with.
There's nothing exciting going on. We're just grateful we don't have to push the bus to the next gig.
Jesus, what a fucking exciting run that is.
Wow.
Oof, God.
Photos on your guys' Queensryche Facebook page of the local fire department came out and they were by the bus and everything. What's the story behind that? Because I don't think I really read about any story that went along with that photo.
He's asking about a specific photo where there's police.
There's a photo. It's on page 13 of your.
There's firemen standing next to your bus.
What's that about? What's that like?
What's the story behind that?
What's going on there?
All right, what is the story behind that?
Yeah, we had a problem, and the firemen came out just to make sure that everything was okay. But it was pretty shocking, though.
We were playing a Rhode Island nightclub, and we were using illegal sparklers on stage, and it set the. Oh, wait a minute, that was another band. Sorry.
No, we were in Rhode Island, and Jack Russell was opening, so we had to take a little extra precaution.
Nice.
Yeah, there wasn't really much of a story, but they just we were in the middle of some desert down in Southern California, and we overheated. And we were having we couldn't go very fast. I think we were traveling like about maybe 15 miles an hour, and so the fire department stopped us and said, look, you need an escort into town because you're going way under the speed limit. So
the fire department.
The
fire department stopped them.
What the fuck?
Hey, pull that bus over.
I've never heard of the fire department running traffic.
Well, in those small western towns, the fire department sometimes doubles as the police department.
Do they really?
Oh, I'm just making a joke.
I was going to say, shit, I've never heard of this.
The fire department pulled us over.
Jesus.
You guys are going too slow.
Yeah.
Not only do we fight the fires out here, but we're traffic enforcement, too.
I was going to give you a ticket, but my fucking ticket pad's all wet from the hoses. What the fuck?
they were kind enough to escort us into town to a mechanic where we could get our radiator looked at.
So obviously there's that, but you always make it. You always usually make it to the show. Of course, I saw the Providence show, fantastic show, and it was very filled, and people seemed to be loving it.
It was very filled.
Very filled?
What does that mean?
Filled with what? Space?
It's very filled, and people seem to be loving it.
They sure did, all 50 of them.
I am just loving it.
I am loving this.
Right.
How do you find the fan reaction has been to your new band since the whole thing went down last year?
Oh, it's been great.
He's just like busting on him for all the split between the band and himself.
But he's doing it in ways that Geoff can always find the fucking positive.
Right.
Oh, it's been great.
he just keeps capping on him for that.
Yeah, he sure does.
So what he's basically projecting there is, I'm doubting that what you're doing even can hold a candle to the other Queens.
That's about what he's saying.
So how do you do it?
Yeah. Robert's my mentor, but your band sucks.
Right.
I think it's been really positive. Yeah, we've had really good turnouts at the shows, and people seem to really enjoy it. And I think they sense and pick up on the enthusiasm of the musicians playing. Everybody in the band really is an exceptional player, and that's obvious when you hear the band. So it's all good.
So you stated in another interview that I read of you, because of course, Queensryche is one of my favorite bands, and so I've been following this case for a while. But you stated in an interview that
I've been following this case.
Dun 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 dun. Geoff Tate, formerly of Queensryche, now of Queensryche.
Been following this case.
I could just hear the fucking big voice guy with the People's Court music in the back.
Right, this is Doug Llewellyn.
Typewriter in the back. Tate versus Queensryche.
Bum, 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 bum. Judgment for the plaintiff. Bum, 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 bum.
Geoff, how does it feel to lose this game?
What's it like?
What's it like?
This past run that you did has actually had more sellouts than anything you guys have done with Queensryche in a really long time.
Sellouts?
Sellouts?
I haven't heard that.
I never heard that at all.
Sellouts.
You know, where are they playing? 3-seaters?
So how's that been for you? Of course, I mean, I'm sure this,
Enough
the
with that
shows
what's
have
it
been
like
great
question.
if they're, sold out all the time.
Everywhere you go, it's sold out.
Where you go?
How's that? What's that like?
What's that like? What's up with the what's it like and how's that been questions? God damn.
How's that been for you?
Jesus Christ.
Wow. Well, he is a kid.
Yeah, I guess we'll give him that. Maybe he'll get better.
Yeah, they've been very good. Like I said, the attendance has been really good, and the energy is very positive. And I mean, what more can you ask for?
Yeah. Now, the tour. I know that you guys are doing other set lists right now, but when I saw you were doing the 25th anniversary of Operation Mindcrime, which was one of your great was like one of the big groundbreaking albums for Queensryche, and so you guys were doing the 25th anniversary tour of that. How do you feel that your new band, grasped Operation Mindcrime as the whole album? Because you guys were doing the album in its entirety with, the greatest hits also.
So, in other words, since these weren't the guys that actually wrote or played on the original, how are they able to recreate this in its entirety and make it sound like the real thing?
Geoff, you had no connection at all, your band, with Operation Mindcrime. What's that like? It's like fucking Bob Now Bandit in the early years.
Well, but that's what he's asking, though, is this band had nothing to do with the original, so how are they pulling it off?
Who do you think did a better interview, Bob Now Bandit when he started, or this kid?
It's a toss-up.
I said it because I know Now Bandit is listening.
But it's so funny, though.
Yeah. By the way, just as a quick off topic, did you see the new trailer?
Yes, I did.
Fucking amazing.
Yep, I'm just all the more excited.
Can't wait to see it.
Me either.
Anyway, back to the show.
Yeah, we'll do this a couple more minutes.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I think they all loved it. They were all fans of the album, and so it's a real treat to be able to wrap your head around an album like that and to perform it live. And I think everyone took it very seriously and, did a lot of homework to, learn the music. And then we spent a lot of time rehearsing it and talking about it and, deciding what needed to happen here and what needed to happen where.
Well, you know what? I think personally, here's what I think needs to happen. Here's this record. We're going to play it in its entirety. Learn your parts, dickheads.
Or other words, I know you guys didn't write this. I know you've never performed it. I know that you're not the original lineup.
Yeah.
But we got to go out there and sound like the original lineup. So you need to study every individual part here and try to make it sound as authentic as possible.
Yeah. Take all these parts, down tune them three octaves, and then we're ready to play them.
Exactly.
Horrible.
And it felt really good. For me, it was a matter of, I could just close my eyes and sing along, and it was all there every night. It was great.
Thanks, Geoff.
As a fan, I would think that that's what a fan would like to do as well. I would like to just close my eyes and just sing along just like I'm listening to the record.
Yeah. That's usually what you want.
Right. That is the ultimate effect, is it not?
Yeah, that is.
No, Silent Lucidity is one of the encores that you guys play, and that's one of Queensryche's biggest hits, of course. And I remember going around and seeing, I saw probably a few people crying in the audience while you were playing Silent Lucidity.
They were saying...
They were crying?
They were crying in the audience. It's just
crying is shame.
I can't believe this is what this band has come to.
Why did I give up my $30?
So, has it, I'm sure after so long, so many years of playing the song that you've gotten used to it, but it must be an amazing feeling when you see that, your music is touching people's hearts and, their emotions that much.
This kid, he wants to ask more pointed questions.
And now he's afraid.
But now he's afraid, and it's clear because he keeps trying to soft coat every question. Like, I don't want to piss you off, but I really want to ask this question, but I want to phrase it in such a way that it's not abrasive.
Right.
And that's what he's trying to do.
I know.
So as soon as he gets a little bit older and his balls really drop,
yeah,
and he gets rid of the
stutter.
No, not the stutter, but the hesitation to actually just come straight out and ask what he's really thinking.
Yeah,
he might be a good interviewer.
He might be. I mean, he's young.
He is. That's what I'm saying. When he gets older and he loses a little inhibition.
Look, the bottom line with this, he's well prepared. He certainly understands. He knows the material a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not like the other kids that we've heard that are asking, what's your favorite kind of sandwich?
Right.
I mean, he's definitely asking questions about Queensryche. So I'll give him credit for that.
Well, he did his homework. Yeah.
He knows the band.
And he says he saw them.
Yeah. So I mean, he's there's a lot of people that have seen him and wouldn't be able to ask these questions.
But just the way he phrases the questions and the way he tiptoes around everything.
Sure.
He's like afraid to just go for the gut and just ask the question that he really wants to ask.
He'll get there.
I know. But if he stays with it, I think he probably will be a good interviewer.
At some point, he'll get tired of asking these softball questions. He'll just be like, fuck it. Somebody will shut him down like Tate did here, and he'll be like, no. What is the answer?
Right.
I think we've all had that interview once where somebody tries to shut you down. You're just like, fuck you. Answer the question.
Well, just like, 1 or 2 questions ago when he was saying, how did you prepare the band? No. Because basically what he was trying to say is these guys didn't play on the record. They didn't play the original. They aren't familiar with it. So how did you prepare them to play it?
Yeah. How did you get them to try and sound like they should, like the other guys? I mean, that's really the question. How do you make these guys try and sound like the other guys?
That's exactly what he was trying to say.
Yep.
All right, one more question and we'll cut it.
All right.
Yeah, it's a very humbling.
Hail and kill caller, you're on the air.
I find it tiresome beyond belief to hear you two nattering nabobs of negativity. Rattling on as you do, rattling and prattling, and deconstructing this young gentleman. This is my new friend, Myles the Shoe Shuman, recommended to me by Roberto.
Laugh.
I didn't trill my R's. Roberto.
You got to laugh though after you say Roberto because it's funny.
Roberto. As I was about to say, if ever there comes a time when he asks an impertinent question, I can put him in my place. I can put him in his place. Somebody's place.
Right.
I can just say to him, look here, shoe dick.
Yes.
Look here, little shoe shine boy. You're 13. You got 3 pubes. You want to step up to me, motherfucker?
Wow.
Language.
That is putting him in his place.
Jeez.
I'll do it, and I'll do it with a smile.
Right.
You leave it to me.
I don't have any doubt, Jeff.
You leave it to the Jeff Meister. Or the Jeff Meister, or something.
Something like that.
Now I'm going to go practice silent lucidity, as my good friend said.
All right.
Have fun with your miserable little lives. I'm the one rung down from utopia.
Well, I hope you make
everything is going swimmingly well in my life as my semen swims toward, well, I won't tell you who. It might make you mad. I'll give you a hint. She's got big tits. Hey. steady on that.
Will you be taking the Freeman pass?
Wouldn't you like to know? Fuck you, pal.
There he goes.
God.
All right, dude, I think that's going to wrap it up.
All right, I think we're done.
Well, we want to thank our guest this evening, Kurt Vanderhoof
Yes.
of the Great Metal Church. Glad to see that they're back.
Yep.
Got a new CD out, came out this past Tuesday called Generation Nothing.
And it kicks ass.
Sounds very much like old-style Metal Church.
Yep, it's very good.
Also want to thank Todd Kern of Slash.
Yep.
He's got an acoustic CD out.
Acoustic solo CD. Don't
Right.
ask me the name, but
And working on a new Slash disc and on the former Slash.
Sinners.
All that stuff.
Hey, he's busy.
So those guys, appreciate them being a part of the show, and as well as all of our listeners and fans and the real Geoff Tate and everybody who tunes in every Saturday.
Yep.
So anyway, it's been a good show, Mr. Aiken. I enjoyed it. I'm glad to be back. I enjoyed the silliness.
Yeah, it was fun. Definitely was.
All right. Well, next week, Stevie Rochelle of Tough will be on. He'll talk a little bit what he knows about the Rock Harvest thing, which apparently he knows quite a bit.
Sure.
And he wants to come on and spread the love next week.
Yes, he does.
So,
And then we're also going to have Fang from Lords of the Trident.
no, nice.
Sometimes we do interviews because we're asked.
All right. Well, hey, why not?
Sometimes small ones lead to bigger. We'll leave it at that.
Sure. All right. Well, I'm going to get out of here. Chris is going to get out of here. He needs some sleep.
I do. I got some partying to do tomorrow.
And so I thought maybe I'd close out with some of the new Metal Church.
All right.
Got a suggestion?
No. All of it's good.
All right. Well, I think what we'll play is Scream.
Okay. That's a good one.
We'll play some Scream. So until next Saturday night, this is Neeley along with your very good friend
Chris Hagan.
We'll see you next week.
Bye, kids.